What was it like on the set of Little House on the Prairie? The actress who played Michael Landon's wife says it wasn't as wholesome as it seemed.
Imagine watching your favorite childhood show, Little House on the Prairie, filled with warmth, family, and wholesome values. But what if I told you that the off-screen world was nothing like what you saw on screen? The heartwarming portrayal of pioneer life wasn't the full story. Behind the cameras, there were scandals, shocking secrets, and personal battles that would shock even the most dedicated fans. What if I told you that the idyllic portrayal of Laura Ingalls' life wasn't the complete picture? Join us as we uncover the untold stories of the cast and the shocking reality that was hidden behind the scenes. Keep watching, because what we're about to reveal might change the way you look at this beloved show forever. For years, viewers watched as Laura Ingalls and Nellie Oleson portrayed bitter rivals on screen, but behind the scenes, the reality was far from what we saw on television. The two actresses, Melissa Gilbert, Laura, and Allison Arngrim, Nellie, were actually the best of friends. They spent their free time together, even having sleepovers at each other's houses. The intense animosity between their characters was nothing more than a well-crafted act for the show. However, things took a surprising turn when Nellie's character, after marrying Percival, would go out of her way to annoy Melissa Gilbert in real life. Despite Percival, played by Steve Tracy, being gay, the on-screen love story between him and Nellie became a hot topic of discussion. But it wasn't just their performances. There were moments when the two actors would get caught up in their passionate displays of affection on set, clearly designed to agitate Melissa Gilbert, who, as a young actress, found their antics emotionally distressing. Melissa's character, Laura, had a far more innocent portrayal of love with Almanzo Wilder, but it was nothing compared to the playful cruelty of Arngrim and Tracy's on-set behavior. Imagine the pressure Melissa must have felt, watching her co-stars mockingly shove their relationship in her face, all while she was struggling to balance the innocence of her own character and the harshness of their real-world antics. As much as Little House on the Prairie depicted wholesome family values, the set wasn't always the picture of purity. Behind the cameras, many of the cast and crew were struggling with troubling addictions, most notably alcohol. According to Melissa Gilbert's memoir, Michael Landon, the beloved Paw Ingalls, was one of the heaviest drinkers on set. His day often started with a coffee spiked with liquor, and he would continue drinking throughout the day, hiding his alcohol consumption from the crew. While many were unaware of the extent of his drinking, it eventually became clear that Landon was battling a serious addiction. But Michael wasn't the only one. The crew reportedly polished off 230 racks of Coors beer every single day during filming. There were even 3 case days when things got especially stressful on set. The constant drinking became part of the show's daily routine, adding a dark twist to what seemed like a lighthearted production. The very set that brought so much joy to viewers was quietly shrouded in a haze of substance abuse, with alcohol being a constant companion to the cast and crew. These behind-the-scenes habits painted a different picture from the wholesome portrayals of the Ingalls family, revealing the harsh realities that were hidden behind the smiles and prairie dresses. Michael Landon, the iconic Paw Ingalls, may have been the face of the wholesome, hard-working father figure on Little House on the Prairie, but his real-life story was more complex. While his character often emphasized Christian values, the truth about Landon's background was far less conventional. Born Eugene Maurice Orowitz on October 31, 1936, Landon was actually Jewish. His father was Jewish, while his mother was Catholic. Despite the show's Christian themes, Landon identified more with his Jewish heritage, though he didn't follow a strict religious path. This cultural difference became a hidden part of his identity, as it was largely kept under wraps while he portrayed a devout Christian father on TV. Interestingly, Landon didn't see a conflict between his personal beliefs and his on-screen character. He considered himself a believer in God, but didn't subscribe to any one religion. It's fascinating to think about how Landon's real identity was so different from the wholesome Christian persona he projected as Paw Ingalls, raising questions about the contrast between an actor's private life and their public image. Landon's stage name, Michael Landon, was just one of the many ways he crafted a persona for Hollywood. The truth about his identity remained hidden from fans for years, showing that the man behind the camera was far more layered than the father figure he played. While Little House on the Prairie portrayed a tight-knit, loving family, the real-life relationships between some of the cast members were far more complicated. One of the most notable tensions occurred between Melissa Gilbert, Laura Ingalls, and Melissa Sue Anderson, Mary Ingalls. Though they played sisters on screen, off-camera, the two actresses couldn't stand each other. Their feud lasted for years, creating an uncomfortable atmosphere on set. While the exact reason for their animosity remains unclear, Gilbert later described Anderson as cold and difficult to work with. The rift between them became so intense that no one else on set wanted to get involved in their constant bickering. It wasn't just the Ingalls sisters who had trouble getting along. Jonathan Gilbert, who played Willie Olson, was actually adopted by Melissa Gilbert's family, making them brother and sister in real life. However, their relationship also took a hit after the show ended, and they became estranged. Despite their close relationship during the show's production, they drifted apart, with Jonathan pursuing a career in finance and Melissa continuing to act and later becoming a political figure. The tension didn't end with the Gilbert siblings. Even though Little House was a family-oriented show, the behind-the-scenes drama between cast members added a layer of complexity to the production. While they were able to set aside their differences for the show, the cast's personal conflicts often lingered long after the cameras stopped rolling. While viewers may have been captivated by the small-town charm of Walnut Grove, the real-life Walnut Grove, located in Minnesota, was not as idyllic as the one portrayed on screen. The real Walnut Grove, founded in 1874, had a population of just 8,000 people as of 2019, making it a far cry from the bustling community shown on the show. The town, however, played a significant role in Laura Ingalls Wilder's life, as she lived there during her childhood, and it was the inspiration for much of her semi-autobiographical book series. Off-screen, the cast of Little House on the Prairie shared a unique chemistry, and several on-set romances sparked over the years. While the love stories on screen were often tender and wholesome, the real-life romances were much more complicated. In one of the show's more unusual love stories, Michael Landon, who was a central figure both on-screen and behind the scenes, found himself in a romantic relationship with makeup artist Cindy Clerico. This relationship caused quite a stir, especially considering that Landon was still married at the time, and it led to a public divorce. Despite the romance-driven drama, there was undeniable chemistry between the cast members, which contributed to the series' lasting appeal. But this perfect on-screen family would eventually face challenges as personal relationships behind the scenes began to unravel. The show's success may have been built on the portrayal of a tight-knit family, but the reality was far messier. Little House on the Prairie wasn't just groundbreaking for its portrayal of pioneer life. It also tackled some of the most sensitive and taboo subjects of the time. While the show was often lighthearted, it didn't shy away from heavier themes such as sexual assault, addiction, racism, and disabilities. These topics were rarely addressed on television in the 1970s and 1980s, making Little House a trailblazer in pushing the boundaries of what was considered acceptable for a family-oriented show. One of the most shocking off-screen secrets was the extent of substance abuse that plagued the set. Many of the cast and crew members struggled with addictions to alcohol, with Michael Landon being one of the heaviest drinkers. His hidden alcoholism was only fully revealed later, as he managed to keep his drinking under wraps for years. This stark contrast between the wholesome image of the Ingalls family and the reality of the cast's personal struggles sheds light on the darker side of the show's production. Additionally, the personal feuds among the cast members, like the ongoing tension between Melissa Gilbert and Melissa Sue Anderson, mirrored some of the difficult situations tackled on the show. These conflicts often mirrored the dramatic themes explored in the storylines, showing how even the tight-knit family portrayed on screen wasn't immune to the struggles and tensions that can arise behind closed doors. As we've uncovered, Little House on the Prairie wasn't the purely heartwarming, idealized portrayal of pioneer life that many fans remember. Beneath the surface of wholesome family values and uplifting stories, there was a much darker reality: addictions, personal feuds, and untold struggles that plagued both the cast and crew. The on-screen family that charmed millions was far from perfect, and the behind-the-scenes drama adds a layer of complexity to a show that is still beloved today. While the show addressed important social issues ahead of its time, it also mirrored the challenges its cast faced in real life, offering a raw glimpse into the lives of those who brought the show to life. So, next time you watch an episode of Little House on the Prairie, you might want to think about the real stories that were never shown, because the truth behind the scenes is just as compelling, if not more so, than the stories we saw on screen. What do you think about these behind-the-scenes secrets? Do they change the way you view the show? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more surprising revelations from the world of your favorite TV classics.